Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Hatchet.
I've lost a lot of brothers over this. Well, we're only 9 years old.
Where did it all start? Where did the problem start?
So, Waco, Twin Peaks. There's so many text messages on Google that people can actually look up because it all went through prosecutors. Everything was public about Twin Peaks, right? The Nationals could have stopped them going to Twin Peaks at any time. And they made a video. They actually made a video. Oh, we tried to stop them. But our founder was the nomad that led everybody up there. Our founder lost his son. He was the first one that was killed. So all these guys had bonds, $1 million bonds. And the threat level was so high that basically that club turned their back on everybody that was locked up in there on these bonds and turned their back. And a lot of them got scared and they started burying their cuts, right? Erasing all their social media because they didn't want to get picked up. And people think that it's only Twin Peaks where all these guys were getting arrested. It wasn't. It was a whole state of Texas. And plus, I just got done talking to another fella. He was in Arkansas and got picked up. And he was headed away from it. So they figured, hey, he was there. So it was big. It was not just one little town where this happened, right? So during this time, none of the families were getting taken care of the guys inside. And the guys were getting pissed. Well, when the bond reduction, they were all released, but they still had that $1 million bond. A lot of the guys wouldn't go out and fly their colors, because of bond. They don't want to get picked up. Or they wouldn't, because of the threat level, because the two clubs were still going at each other. Because of the threat level, nobody was backing up any of the guys in Waco. And so our club was like, you know what? Fuck you. You don't want to do this. And at the time, the Cossacks, the ugly Cossacks, they were changing leadership. They went from Zeke to Doc. And one of the hands of the club happened to be Waco. So what they did is they started their own patches. And they're like, we'll come back. But this is what we want to come back as. And they didn't show the diamond. So Doc signed off on it. Because whenever you have a trademark and a name's trademarked, you have to have a signature on it. Because this is Motorcycle MC. So they're both underneath Motorcycle MC. So he signed off on it. And then they sent the actual pictures of what the cut's going to be. And with that diamond, I can't approve that. I can't approve that. Too late. You already done signed off on it. You're screwed. So that's how 1% Cossacks came about. And then they took Waco pretty much by force. 23 guys. Every time they'd send guys down there, they went stripped back naked. They take their stuff. And ever since then, we've held Waco.
So the other Cossacks, are they still around Waco?
Yeah. So they're way bigger than us. So in Texas, it's really hard for us to grow. Really hard for us to grow because we have to explain the two different Cossacks, right? And at one time, we were the fastest growing MC here in Texas. Like we had from Waco all the way Arkansas, all the way to Dallas, Fort Worth, and we're expanding fast just by off of our history. So when we did that, there's going to be a feud. There is going to be a feud. And That's how Jester ended up getting shot and killed. They took an order to the extreme. And what's crazy is that guy, if you listen to the Barcelona's testimony, he told everything that he did. So I was around for every one of those moments. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this guy's just telling off of himself. But he's telling off on his nationals. He's telling because they're the ones that ratted him out first. Everybody ratted him out. And then I told you about the feds coming to the house, right? The Fed, he was standing there and he goes, well, yeah, we know that you're a Cossack. Of course, I was wearing my colors at the time. He goes, yeah, we know you're a Cossack and Twin Peaks and all this and Ugly Man. You guys kick it and associate with Ugly Man. I was like, no, we don't. That's two different clubs. He said, underneath our eyes, you guys are the same MC. He said, we put all of you guys in the same category. Doesn't matter if you're a bandito. It doesn't matter if you're a Cossack. It doesn't matter if, you know, you're this club or you're that club. We're all underneath the same category.
So
and that's how they run it.
What about like ex-military and ex-police officers? Do they look at their clubs the same way?
Same way. And I looked at him. I said, you're all freaking idiots. But that's how the government looks at us. Yes, they know that we have different organizations and they can't get us for what they're trying to get this club for. Matter of fact, what was it? 3 days ago, there's a raid in Arkansas. Hit 3 clubhouses. They didn't find anything at any of those clubhouses. You know what's funny? It didn't hit the news because they didn't find nothing. They didn't even find one firearm. So,
and they would love to, right?
Oh yeah, they find one firearm. And that's why I tell all the guys all the time: you want a RICO case? Send a picture of a bunch of your guns online to a buddy that's a felon. That buddy, if he has a weapon, they're going to say, hey, you're selling these weapons to this buddy, even though that you never sold the weapon in a day in your life. That's how they get you. Matter of fact, one of my friends on TikTok, he just did this thing about a federal informant. He went through 3 clubs, 3 as a patch. He earned patches and he'd trade off patches. And all 3 of them went through a RICO case. And guess what? He was the one that was bringing everything to the MC. It wasn't the opposite way. They weren't saying, hey, we want this. No, hey, man, I got to go do this. Will you have my back?
Oh, so and it's the police kind of entrapment. It's entrapment.
Yep. And all three times, all 3 of them were dropped because of entrapment. And it's rare to even hear that clubs get the entrapment and get it dropped, but 3 of them. I was like, oh, that's unreal. So I started doing my research on that. I was like, that's unreal. But that just lines up with everything that I talk about. It all went to shit in 1975. Like so Supreme Court cases, okay, from 1975 all the way to 2000, there is only 19 Supreme Court cases that they even heard for 30 years, almost 30 years, 19 cases. What are we paying them for? And they say that, you know, the federal government, their laws don't overstep the Constitution. Well, if you only heard 19 cases in 30 years, do the math. How many laws have come out since then?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. And that's what's really interesting about that book. 100 Supreme Court cases you should know.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me that last time. So I wanted to ask you about the twin outlaws. Them guys on TikTok.
They're a joke. So they got this little scooter boy, and he's so dumb. Last night he put a 7 ring of diamond, and he called out a diamond club. He said, "You 1%ers, I wear a 7 of diamond. There's another club that is 4 times my size." No, I put that in a small perspective. They're 30 times my size, and they wear that 7 of diamond because of Waco, the 7. We wear it to memorialize. They wear it because the 7 are dead. And they say, I doubt any 1%er will come and take this off my finger. So I actually did a video. See, the olden day, I had this old timer. He come from Canada. And he's like, "Have I ever told you how I got this ring?" And I was like, "No." He said, "I walked into a bar and I sat down. And this guy is tapping his finger on an ashtray. And I looked over and, oh, nice ring. Where did you get that?" "My wife got it for me." And he goes, "What kind of motorcycle you ride?" And he goes, "Well, I've never rode a motorcycle a day in my life. They scare me." He goes, "I wanted that ring. I stood up, I knocked him out, and I took that ring." So people think that they're going to take it just by taking it off. He cut his finger off to get that ring. And he goes, "It has never left my hand since that day." That one, it was 1% a ring. It wasn't even in his club colors, but he's worn it. He's worn it for over 25 years. And that's how he got that ring. And I sit there and I laugh at these guys. I'm like, you're such idiots. And then, so they're wearing a Colorado bottom rocker.
Yeah.
And
And they got their mom with the patch on.
yes, the mom with the diamond on. So he automatically, he put that dumb, that's just like chasing a motorcycle with your old lady on, right? Now she's proclaimed in that club. And this is how stupid they are. They put it on social media. So now they're proclaimed. But they've been on social media so long, and a lot of people are like, why isn't anybody holding them accountable? Definitely being a diamond in Colorado. And I know other clubs are like, oh, these guys are a joke. But it's those type of people that tear down the organization. Well, the guy with the 7 ring, they online, they're like, oh, he's underneath our protection. I started laughing. I said, thank you. You just gave me an easy way in Colorado. Because once that bottom rocker comes off, that's our territory too. And that's how territories work. And a lot of people don't know that. The old motto of the biker culture is like Riddick, the movie Riddick. You keep what you get. Nowadays, people want to call cops and all that stuff. There's other ways to get things. So I'm just sitting back. I'm laughing. Oh, I'm laughing. I've always wanted a set in Colorado. I've always wanted our club in Colorado because I have so much family in Colorado. And those chapters would be unreal. Unreal. And there's protocols. There's right ways of doing it.
So what do you think about the people out there who think that they could sew on a patch like a bottom rocker or a 1% patch or a diamond? Like, because some people out there think I could do whatever I want.
So they're going to learn a hard lesson. Like, we're an independent diamond, meaning that we took the diamond, we wear the diamond, but we've lost a lot of people doing that. Okay. And I wear all their names. And then some of them are unspoken, so they're in a regular tab. We've lost a lot of people because of that. And because of us not being COC, We come from COC, the split, because of the most deadliest COC.